You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. How to grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday to help you mastermind to grow your real estate business. That's actually why we started this show years ago and why we've done hundreds of episodes since, all about information to help you grow and develop your real estate career. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the bell icon either on Facebook or YouTube, or if you go to our website, tsre.us, that's tsre.us, just drop in your email anywhere on that website, and we will make sure you get notifications whenever it is that we go live. But we are live today, so whether you're tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, let us know where you're tuning in from. Say hello, and of course, if there's any questions or anything we could further help you understand, drop that in the chat, or if you prefer one-to-one, directly talking to one of our advisors here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, give us a call, 813-333-2676. And even though we're the Tampa School of Real Estate, we're authorized and licensed for all of Florida. So wherever it is that you want to sell real estate in Florida with, we can help you do that. And a lot of the stuff we're talking about today is pretty universal wherever it is that you're practicing real estate as it relates to starting a business. Now, where may you be at? You might be at the point of not having any real estate experience whatsoever. Maybe you're brand new to real estate. You've never sold a house before. You don't even know what a realtor even does potentially. You're maybe not even sure. And so how do you start a real estate business if you're not even sure what a real estate business is? And there's actually lots of different real estate businesses you could potentially start. You could start a business in brokerage. That's mainly what we're going to be focusing on today. However, there's all kinds of related fields when it comes to property management, when it comes to all kinds of different associated types of real estate. So let's go ahead and go over to the board here. And let's talk about some of these opportunities and how it is that you pursue them. And again, mainly we're going to focus around the concept of a real estate brokerage. A real estate brokerage, let's talk about what that term is, a brokerage. What is a brokerage? Well, what is the term broker? So the term broker means bringing together buyers and sellers, or owners and renters. It doesn't necessarily have to be an indefinite exchange. It could be a temporary exchange. That's what a lease is. It's a temporary exchange. Now, you might want to start your own brokerage to be able to have a business of bringing together buyers and sellers. So, just briefly, because I know some of you might already have a real estate license and you're just trying to figure out how do you build more of a business, how you treat this less like a job and more like a business. So brokerage, we're bringing together these buyers and these sellers. And let's say we've got $1 million property, just to keep the numbers easy. A 6% commission on this is $60,000. Now, our commission's always 6%. No, they're negotiable. Could be higher, could be lower. It's negotiable. But there's potentially $60,000. And, if it's half of that, if we're talking about a $500,000 house, there's $30,000 on the table for one commission, for one sale, for one transaction. And we're not the buyer. We're not the seller. We're the brokerage. We're who's bringing together the buyers and the sellers, and we get paid a commission for doing so. Now, what does it take to become a broker? Few different requirements. You need 2 years active experience. As a licensed sales associate. And we're going to talk more about that. If you're not yet licensed as a sales associate, we'll back up to that. But ultimately, if you want to become a broker, if you want to maybe someday have your own brokerage, if you want to call it Tom Jones Real Estate Incorporated or whatever your name is, My Name Real Estate Sales, whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever as a brokerage. But in order to become a broker, so you could start your own brokerage, you have to have 2 years of active experience as a licensed sales associate. Now, here's the good news. You're still paid these ridiculous commissions as a sales associate. And as a matter of fact, because this is still very much a business within a business. So as a licensed sales associate, so again, if you're trying to earn that 2 years of experience to become a broker, and you technically don't even have to sell anything, believe it or not, as crazy as that sounds, the way the law is written right now for Florida, if you want to get a broker license, it does require 2 years of active experience in the last 5 years. If you've had a license in another state, a real estate license in another state, that experience can count towards your broker license, and you could potentially go straight to getting your broker license. But if not, you need a Florida sales associate license first, and you need to gain 2 years worth of experience under a broker. But again, crazy thing is you don't even need to sell anything. You don't have to have any sales, and you could still qualify. So how does the money work? Or let me know what questions it is you have. We are live here on Facebook and YouTube and our Success Center at tampaschoolofrealestate.com. So wherever it is that you're tuning in, let me know what questions you have about any part of these processes or any other direction it is that you want to steer this conversation today for those of you that are watching and tuning in live. And those of you guys tuning in on the replay, definitely let us know in the comments, because we go back and check those things to see what more additional information we can provide on future episodes. So definitely appreciate all that feedback. And again, if you have more particular questions where you want to connect with an advisor directly, 813-333-2676. But let's talk about that. So let's say there's this $60,000 commission here for this $1 million sale, or we could cut that in half and do a $500,000 sale at $30,000 a commission, whatever it is. How much would a sales associate get paid? Well, it could be anywhere to almost as much as that whole $60,000 if it's a 100% broker or flat fee broker or something like that, where your broker isn't necessarily taking a percentage of your commission, but instead there's some sort of transactional fee that might be charged to you or the client, or some combination or anything like that. Some sort of money to cover the cost of that brokerage providing what it is that they provide for you to help you run your real estate business, because that's what this provides for, or essentially should provide for. The legal requirement is just that they're a broker legally responsible for you. But ultimately, a good broker is going to provide a suite of tools that's necessary for you to practice real estate. And, you know, as you're more experienced, you might have your own tools. You might need them not need them from a broker. But when you're starting out, you definitely want something turnkey so you could get right to making commissions as quickly as possible, because the more you have to figure out on your own, the more it is you delay your paydays, and you do not want to delay your paydays. No one wants to delay the paydays. Don't delay the paydays. We want the paydays as quickly as possible, so do everything you can to make these paydays come as quickly as possible. And that's the great part about even just being a licensed sales associate here. When you're first starting out in real estate, so if you're brand new to real estate, you've never sold real estate before, you've never even bought real estate before, you could still get a real estate license. You could still have your own real estate business within the business of the brokerage. So you are legally required to be with a broker, but typically you're an independent contractor. So you're typically an independent contractor. Which what that means is you basically are your own boss even as a sales associate, which is your starting license. Now don't get me wrong, there are some salaried opportunities out there for a real estate license if that's what you're after. It's typically not going to be found in the usual real estate brokerage capacity though, where you're trying to broker deals, because I mean, what's wrong with this being paid a large percentage of this? I mean, even if there's a lower commission split, it usually leans a little bit heavier on the agent side, or at least it should, I would say. So let's talk about if there is a commission split, because again, you could potentially have just a small fee being taken out of the $60,000 and the rest of the money going to you. But depending on what it is that your brokerage is providing, there might be some reason why there is maybe some sort of commission split. So that's the way a lot of brokerages operate, is they operate on a commission split. Yes, there are those 100% flat fee brokers where there's just some sort of transaction fee or something like that. But ultimately, when it comes to most brokerages, or how most people at least get started. So let's say you're starting out, and maybe you're not starting out, so just hang on for a minute. But if you're just getting started, usually the best fit is going to be a commission split brokerage, where there is a split on the $60,000. So say again, there's this $60,000 on the table here. So yes, there are brokerages that might only have some sort of small flat rate fee, something along those lines. But let's say this brokerage takes 30%. And so many people focus on, no, the broker takes this much money. Well, are they really taking it, or are they helping you earn your 70%? That's really what it is that you want to look for. And the better it is you can understand what it is that you want out of your real estate business and out of your, what your career path looks like in starting a real estate career and getting to those next levels and those next stages, understanding that will help get you in a better fit right from the beginning to where you are getting value from what it is that you're paying for to some degree. But let's say it's a 70% commission split. Let's pull up our calculator here. Let's take this $60,000 and we're going to multiply that by 70%. And that gives us $42,000. So even if the brokerage is taking 30%, that money, again, going to the brokerage, and we could sit here and we could calculate that money, and that's the remaining money that's here, which is almost $20,000. It's $18,000, which, wow, that's a lot of money. But would you have gotten this $42,000 without your brokerage's contribution to the transaction? That is the question. And if the answer is yes, well, then maybe you need to rethink your brokerage it is that you're with. Because there are 100% options out there if you're not getting value from your broker that makes it worth a commission split. But when you're starting out, it typically does. And that's why a lot of agents do start at this 100%, or not at 100% brokerage. They'll start in a commission split brokerage. But then as they start to figure things out, they start to realize that this $18,000, wait, why is the broker still earning all this money here? I could basically do this on my own. And what you would really need legally to completely do this on your own is right here, a broker license. You need to become a broker if you want to go completely on your own. And all you need is 2 years of active experience as a licensed sales associate to become a broker. Now, you might not be ready to start your own brokerage yet. You could remain on with your current broker as a broker associate. And a broker associate is somebody that has a broker license. So instead of having a sales associate license, that your starting license, once you have 2 years of experience, you could get your broker license, but you could remain as a broker associate. It's a higher level title. It does earn you a little bit more respect from people who don't have this license, because just like your state exam to get your sales associate license, it can be a tricky exam, especially if you haven't studied the information that's going to be on that exam. But if you study this information, it's not a question of if you'll pass, it's a question of when you'll pass. And the question is when you remember. That's when you'll pass. That's all it is for this exam. This isn't a test of how smart you are, a test of your wit or your cunning. Matter of fact, the test will set you up for failure if you rely on those things too much. If you don't rely on your common sense, you'll be set up for failure on these exams because they're intentionally done to do so. Whereas if you know the actual laws, there's some tricky questions on there that if you know the laws, you know what the right answer is. So now get into this $42,000. You might say, well, if I can make $42,000 per deal, would I want to become my own broker? And if you don't even have a real estate license yet, you understand very well because there's a lot of real estate professionals who do extremely well. Sales associates that don't have a broker license earning over $1 million per year in gross commission. They're out there making it happen every day. Maybe someday they'll start their own brokerage, but you don't need to be a broker to make millions of dollars in real estate. There's sales associates doing it, as well as brokers doing it. There's a lot of different responsibilities, though, running a brokerage. So maybe you want to stay on as a broker associate until you're ready to start your own brokerage. But this way you're not going to have time get in the way because you already have the broker license. All you've got to do is file the paperwork with the state to drop the associate, to no longer be a broker associate, to just be a broker instead of a broker associate. You'd file paperwork to start your own brokerage. But until then, you could remain at your broker as a broker associate. And so this, again, is if you want to have almost like your own team. And technically, you actually can have your own team without even becoming a broker either. It's just all about how the money is split. You just have to all be registered with the same brokerage. And then you're just a group at the same brokerage there with an agreement as to how the money is split. And you don't even need to be a broker to start your own team. But being your own broker allows you with a lot more capability and possibility and opportunity than you would have with just having your own real estate team within a brokerage. So it's really the question, my favorite question of it is how much of a business do you want? Because there's a whole spectrum of how much of a business you can have in real estate. I mean, we're talking, because at all levels, it's some level of a business. Even if you treat it like a job, it still is a business. I mean, even if you have one of the salaried type of jobs, like say you could work at a home builder. You could get a real estate license, go work for a home builder. Typically, there's some sort of small salary involved. But the big thing is the commission it is that you get paid because you could earn this commission because you have an active real estate license that's registered with that builder. So there are different types of salaried positions like that, like property management, all kinds of different very niche type of development type of positions and whatnot that exist out there. So a lot of things that could be, but most people are looking to real estate because they want to start some sort of business to get more control of their income, to get financial freedom, to get control of their schedule. And there's so many varying levels of that you go through this here. We could talk about if you're just doing this, say, part-time. I like to call this part-time bonuses. So that's the one end of the spectrum that we have there. You could be just working real estate for the part-time bonuses. You're working part-time in real estate. Maybe you're only just doing referrals. You could be referring business to other agents to actually close the deal. And so when that other brokerage earns $60,000 off of your client that you referred to the brokerage. So let's say you didn't do this deal, because we already talked about how 100% you're making $60,000 minus whatever fees there are. If it's 70%, it's $42,000. But let's say that you're just referring the business out. Now, referral fees are typically paid off of the gross commission. So we take this $60,000 here, and let's say it's a 25% referral fee. That's $15,000 in a referral fee. Now, even if this was only half of the sale for one side of the transaction or the other, that's still a $7,500 referral fee if that's half of that $15,000, if you're just representing the buyer or just representing the seller. But how nice would an extra $7,000 bonus be for making a connection? I mean, it might be nice just to get a $700 bonus, let alone a $7,000 bonus. So that's one level, one side of how much of a business your real estate business can be. A very automated, very autopilot, very hands-off type of. You still have to do something. I shouldn't say autopilot and hands-off, because this isn't like an investment that's just going to pay you money. This isn't like owning real estate. However, if you do want to become a real estate investor, there's a lot of additional opportunities you'll have access to having a real estate license. So there's a lot of benefit there that definitely would make that worthwhile, especially if you're not ready to invest in real estate yet, but that's something that's on your 5-10 year plan. I absolutely recommend you get a real estate license. Even if you're not necessarily using it in the moment now, it's going to help set you up so much more for becoming a real estate investor and being able to be a more effective investor, because you'll have access to some pretty powerful tools that only realtors have access to. But then on the other end, let's go all the way to the other side of this, is starting a brokerage. How much of a business do you want? Do you just want to work a little bit part-time? Are you going to be a full-time agent? Maybe you're going to start a team? Or maybe you want your own brokerage. How much of a business do you want? As you move across this year, you could potentially make more money. And the reason why you could potentially make more money is there's more risk associated. You're doing more. There's more opportunity you're taking advantage of. Once you cross this threshold here, this is where you start working beyond yourself. On this side, just being a full-time or part-time agent, it's still almost the level of kind of trading your time for money, but the difference is the time it is that you're going to put in is going to repay back in a lot higher dividend than just working for some sort of hourly job or salary or anything like that where you're punching a clock. But if you want to be less about trading the time for money, more about building your own business, that's where a lot of people start off with just starting up a real estate team, where they've got agents working under them. And this is typically what happens as agents become more experienced, more knowledgeable, more capable. They might start a real estate team because they need other agents just to show all the properties for all the buyers they're getting. Maybe they're focusing on listings now and they've got buyer's agents to handle their buyers. And they have a team of buyer's agents. And again, maybe someday you even want to start your own brokerage. But even if you don't want to start your own brokerage, I would highly encourage you to get your broker license. So that way you could be a broker associate at your current brokerage. It doesn't give you really any additional control at your current brokerage, because as a broker associate, you're not the broker. A broker is somebody who is in charge of the organization, whereas a broker associate is not necessarily in charge, but they do have the qualifications to be in charge if they were put in charge, or they put themselves in charge of their own brokerage. And again, that's the form you would file once you have a broker license if you wanted to start your own brokerage. So it's really just, again, the question of how much of a business do you want? And this very much could be a business. And you could make good money doing this, even if you aren't necessarily even working another job. Maybe this is your only source of income, and maybe you're not starting out part-time, but maybe you transition into retiring, kind of semi-retired, where you like some part-time bonuses, you like getting some extra spending money to spend on whatever. But this could still be a very lucrative business. If you're just, referring business out, you're not practicing anything on your own. If you really build a machine for generating referrals, that is a very scalable model. Or maybe, again, you're actually practicing real estate, but because real estate is such a professional practice, it relies on people, on personnel. So that might be where you need a team to be able to work more than yourself, to be able to be more than yourself, to work beyond and extend beyond just yourself. And maybe someday you want to start your own brokerage. Once you've got 2 years of experience, get your broker license. The way the law is right now, where it doesn't require transactions, you might say that, well, John, do you think they'd ever do that? They've done it before. Previously, the law was that you not only needed time experience, but you also needed a certain number of transactions in order to obtain your Florida real estate broker license. And I'm not here to say they're going to change the laws, because they very rarely do, but they do still change those laws occasionally. And wouldn't you be mad if you had the opportunity to get your broker license, but then they change the laws to where you no longer qualify for a broker license and you've got to jump through all these extra hoops or do these extra milestones, get these extra achievements because somebody changed a law? So if you ever think in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years you're going to want a broker license, if you think in this lifetime you're going to want a broker license, I would encourage you to do everything it is that you can to get that as soon as possible. If you're coming up on your 2 years, you can get enrolled in a broker course even if you don't have your 2 years of experience yet. Now, don't do it like super early, because you're going to forget all this information. But if you're, next month your 2-year deadline is up, where you'll now have 2 years of experience, of active experience under a broker, and you're eligible to become a broker, then yeah, you could definitely take that course now. Just make sure you're studying in the meantime until you're eligible to take the state exam for your broker license, so that way you get this done and knocked out. But then you might stay forever as a broker associate. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, for the minimal amount of cost it is to be able to get this license, and a lot of the information you're tested on is honestly a lot of the sales associate information. About 40% of this exam is sales associate information, if not more. It's a lot of the stuff that if you get a little bit more detailed just in a lot of the sales associate concepts, that's what's taught in the broker. There's a lot of stuff that's just the same concepts, just at a little bit more detailed level. And there's not many people that get their broker license. So having that title, even if it's a broker associate versus a broker, or either way, when you got broker in your title, even if it's broker associate, people know you have a broker license versus a sales associate license. But again, it's a question of how much of a business do you want. You might want to start out just getting the license to become a part-time or full-time agent, to maybe eventually start your team. And one of the key things that you're going to want to take as soon as you can to make sure you can expedite this process is post-licensing. Pre-licensing is what you take to get your license. And that focuses on laws and rules and principles and practices that are important for your state exam. But it's a lot of very fundamental information, a lot of focus on laws and rules, and a lot of times you're left wondering, what do I do with this information now that I have a license? And if you haven't taken post-licensing yet, it's no wonder you're asking that question. Because the pre-licensing curriculum is not designed to teach you how to sell real estate. That's not what the Florida Real Estate Commission is concerned with. They're concerned with you having the minimal competence to not harm the public as it relates to real estate transactions. Whereas your post-licensing course more so focuses on how do you actually practice real estate to make a business out of this. And your post-licensing curriculum can vary based on the school. There is not as strict of a syllabus for post-licensing as there is for pre-licensing. So that being said, you want to make sure you're enrolled in a course that focuses on growing and developing your business, because that is the purpose of the post-licensing course. Yes, there are still going to be some references to laws and rules, because those are still important. We don't want to go to jail. That's going to be a huge wrench in our business plan. If we get Anna Delvey or something, there goes our business. So much for our foundation, our real estate foundation, whatever, if we go to jail. So you don't want to go to jail, so the laws are still important. But at the same time, the laws aren't going to make you money. They're just going to keep you out of jail. And that is important, don't get me wrong, but we still need to get you understanding the business topics. Not just what's legal, but how do you use this information creatively to make money with it? And that's what post-licensing focuses on. And one of the first things we do in our post-licensing courses is business planning, to help you better establish what it is that you're wanting to do with your real estate license. How much money you want to make, how many deals you have to close to be able to make that amount of money, and what activities you have to perform on a regular recurring basis to make these goals a reality. As simple as you can make the business planning while accomplishing those objectives, the more effective your business plan can become. And that's one of the things it is you'll learn about in post-licensing. And so look, if you're looking to go all the way, if you want to get your broker license, if you want to knock out your post licensing, get through the exam as quickly as possible, we have some really great packages here at the Tampa School of Real Estate. Call up for the best pricing on all those, 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to walk you through the entire process, to help you understand any of the steps, to help get you on a 5-year or 10-year plan for success. You know, maybe 5 or 10 years from now, you're wanting to start your own real estate brokerage. How do you set yourself up today so you're actually accomplishing those goals 5 years from now? 5 years from now, you'll surely have arrived, but will you have arrived where you expected to? And what can you do today to influence that destination that is 5 years or 10 years from now? Any way we can help you on that path, call us, message us, 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we have for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what it is that you enjoyed or took away from today's episode, or what additional information it is that you want to see on future episodes of State of Real Estate. And don't forget, on Wednesdays, Ask the Instructor. We're here again every Wednesday, every Friday. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We started these shows because we're on a mission to help people build successful real estate careers and help people build their real estate empire. You know, real estate has been life-changing for myself, as well as pretty much everyone here on the team at Tampa School of Real Estate, and we're so dedicated to the cause of being able to help people accomplish these same breakthroughs in their own lives. So any way it is that we can help you, assist you in this process, give us a call. Message us, 813-333-2676, or you could also check us out online at tampaschool.com. That's tampaschool.com. It's about all the time we have for today. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week on Wednesday for Ask the Instructor.
Have you been thinking about getting your Florida real estate license? Look, the process is probably easier than you think. We break it down step by step, how much it's going to cost, what it is that you need to do to get your Florida real estate license. Find out all of that and more at licensefl.com. Again, that's licensefl.com. So you just got your real estate license. How can you jumpstart your real estate business? The number one thing you should do before you do anything else is post-licensing. Now look, this is already a requirement, so you're gonna have to do it anyways, but here's why you wanna do it early. The sooner you do post-licensing, the sooner you're gonna learn the real-world concepts in post-licensing that will help you create a business plan, that'll help you plan for your success in real estate. Post-licensing is all about real-world topics that are usable, that'll help you grow your real estate business. And at Tampa School of Real Estate, we have the best post-licensing courses around. Find out more about how post-licensing can help you jumpstart your real estate career. Go to postflorida.com. If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. How to grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.